So I grew up in Chicago. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet. I live in Indiana now, kind of a freshwater person here living in the Midwest. And if there's one thing that I always despised was the winter. I liked the cozy clothes, like don't get me wrong, but it's the outside and maybe it's the falling down that gets me, right? And maybe that's part of why I like footwear so much, particularly when it comes to winter. You know, we talk about going after those luggy soles as if that was going to save us, but the reality is ice is going to get you no matter what. You know, I've seen some of those rebuilds that happen with like the Arctic sole from Vibram. If you guys have had that, let me know if you had that rebuild and what you think of it so far. It's time to fully embrace it. We've had our first snow, actually 2 snows, and it's time to start getting out that winter footwear. Now, if you're new here, what do I do with these 5 boots videos? I have limited space in my closet, so I'm kind of forced to choose 5 main rotational seasonal boots. That way I force myself to wear all of my boots as opposed to kind of selecting just a few key ones. And that's just the space that I have, right? The rest I kind of put up in storage in a way. And then also that way I kind of get to really get to know and focus on a couple of boots at a time. So the way I do this is I kind of have like what's going to go with my brown tones, what's going to go with my blackish darker tones. I have a red one that I think kind of goes with both typically. I have a workhorse, and then I'll have an experimental boot, whether that be a new material, a new color, something that I'm kind of experimenting with. And it's worth pointing out, I've had most of these boots for a while, but 2 of them are new for this season, and I plan on breaking them in the season, and I'll explain why. So let's get into this. Let's start with the browns. You know, I was really actually kind of trying to decide whether I was going to do the Challengers or my traditional Arizona Adobes. And then I realized I'm going to do both. The Challengers I'm going to put into my 6th slot that I'm just going to continue to break in, but I'm not ready to review yet. But these are well broken in. I actually don't know if these are the new King Maker Lasts or if they're the older RT3. I got them, I think it was summer of 2022, somewhere around there. To the point where it was actually kind of on the fence where I didn't know which last I was getting, to be honest. If you guys know how to tell, let me know. But this is, I'm choosing this boot as my main brown for one particular reason. And I'm having an issue with it, and I don't know what to do. So we're going all in to see if we're going to break this issue or if this issue is going to break me, essentially, with this boot. So for those of you that are unfamiliar, obviously Thursday boots, I mean, it's one of the most common boots. If you're new to Goodyear boots, welcome, and hopefully you enjoy them. Obviously the resolability, everything about that is true for all of these boots here. They're all meant to be worn. You can change the outsole if you want, et cetera, et cetera. But this is their rugged and resilient line. For those that aren't familiar, that just means you don't have to take care of it. So it's a great intro boot. It's kind of interesting. A lot of the scrapes and you know, damages that have been done to it just go away. That's the nice thing about either this or a Chrome XL leather, which we'll talk about later, that they hide blemishes. They're low maintenance. They really don't take much loving at all, and they take abuse. In the beginning, they're probably better for all around wear, can wear anywhere every day of the week if you want. And as they get older and more damaged, they might get to be more of like a casual boot. But I'm going to choose this one. I've had it for a while, and I'll tell you that the thing I'm trying to investigate is every now and then I'll have some foot pains. I used to have plantar fasciitis. I haven't had that in a long time. Solved that with some different thing. But I'm having some neuroma issues. Every now and then it pops up. Particularly, I have to change my footwear, I've learned, and a lot of different things to get around it. But it seems to me like lately I'm not making the case that these cause it, but my Thursdays seem to be activating it more. And I'm looking at this heel, and I'm not saying this causes it again, nor is it a construction issue, but you can see there's kind of like a skived down leather piece here, a full leather stack, and then like a fully skived down leather stack here as well. So you'll see that there's actually more distance between you and the top up here than up front. And what that results in is the slope here. And it's even more exaggerated in their new Challenger, which is why I'm all in on trying to figure out what this means. But this is going to cause your foot to slope more. There's not much arch support here, and it's going to put more pressure on your forefoot, your ball of your foot. I'm actually okay with that most of the time. I don't know if it's, maybe I'm just breaking these in too much. Maybe I just prefer leather as a midsole. I don't know what it is, but for some reason I've been having a few more issues there. So I'm gonna really wear these Thursdays along with my Challengers and start to figure out Am I going to stick with Thursday or am I going to have to ship them down the road? But I really do enjoy this boot. Easy to wear in the snow, anywhere, rain. So it could double as a workhorse, but that's my brown boot. Easy to wear into the office and around town. So for my black, I really should be saying the dark tone boots. We have a new to this channel boot. Maybe you saw it briefly in my Grant Stone discussion, but they're new to me. I haven't worn them, and I think they're new to the market too. I was really excited about this mismatched black tongue they have here against the gray Kudu leather. This is their Garrison boot pattern on the Leo last. Again, well, this isn't 360 welted. This is 270 welted, where they'll, it's just 270 welted. Now, when it comes to this boot, why did I choose this? And I actually have an interesting thing that I've been experimenting with. I've been interested in gray for quite some time for boots and never found one that I just really loved. I had some suede gray boots that I got rid of. They just weren't working for me. They were more of a fashion boot like Diesel, and they weren't my thing. And then Grant Stone has had this Kudu leather for quite some time, but I never dove in and took the bite out of it until here recently. And you can see, again, I haven't worn it much, but you can quickly see the aging, the usage, your foot breaking in on it. And I love that aspect of it, but I also love this color gray. So why did I finally bite the bullet to choose gray? I'll share this with you. So I've been thinking about this for a while, and something that I kind of started doing is I'll get these, like, I use key fobs because I like to I still put it in my pocket, but I want to know it's secure to my pants. This is a Wicket and Craig gray Latigo leather. When you buy these like keychains, like I think Truman sells like a Java wax flesh, it's going to pick up patina super fast, rubbing against your pants, putting in your pocket, rubbing up against sides of your car door or even like a store when you're leaning against something, because I put it in my side right here. And you'll very quickly start to see how the leather will wear over time. Again, you may not get the exact match of the boot or leather that you're interested in, but if you're kind of new to a specific leather or interested, you could buy something like this. Doesn't even have to be a keychain. It could be a strap around a water bottle, whatever, and just kind of experiment with like, well, how's it going to age? And it's a very cheap and quick way to kind of get that aging in quick. Cause I think that usage of it, particularly, it'll get more wear quicker than a boot will, I think, particularly if you rotate boots. So I finally bought the bullet and I said, yeah, I really like kind of like a medium gray, the way that it shows the age, the way that when this creases, you'll get a little bit of a lighter area. And then as it gets dirty, like I actually kind of like the way dirt looks on lighter colored boots. I think it looks cool. So this is the boot that I'm wearing for this winter. And why is you'll see here, brand's making new tread that's really never been used, honestly. You can just see that this is going to be good for the snow. Again, ice is going to get you no matter where you go. And that's unfortunate. But this is what I'm kind of excited for the winter, for my darker clothes. And I guess I should mention too, I tend to wear a lot of black. I know. And it's a good way to break up the all black. I kind of hated looking like a big black crayon half the time when I wear my clothes. So buying a lighter gray boot helped me accomplish those goals, essentially. So there you go. Garrison boot with the Leo last with the gray Kudu leather from Grant Stone. And definitely not new to this channel. I love these boots. These are, you shouldn't be surprised, right? My Color 8 Chrome XL leather from Horween. In the Diesel pattern from Grant Stone on their Leo last, right? This boot is just this might be my favorite boot. I don't know. This is definitely up there. These boots have always been my friend. They've always been there for me, and they've always looked good. Chrome XL, such an amazing leather. I think you can they're almost all gone. Like there's been some times, I don't even know if you can see this. There were some scratches that I had, like a real big scratch where I'm like, well, worried, because like I do like to use these to dress up. Again, I know it's a casual pattern. The world's getting more casual. Stick with me here, people. But 1 week I wore my black cap Oxfords to a wedding, and it was really uncomfortable. I didn't like them. And the next week I had to go to a wedding in Chicago, again, rainy, cold. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing the Oxfords, honey. I'm going to wear my burgundy boots, and she actually wore burgundy as well. I'm not saying it worked, but it's better than those dress shoes. Am I right, people? So anyways, very flexible boot, and Chrome XL is just one of those miracle leathers that, it could show some wear very quickly, if you will, in particular areas, but then the wear almost kind of like blends into the color, I would say. It's a very low maintenance leather. What I like most about wearing red is that you don't have to think. If I need to leave my shoes downstairs for a day and wear it with 2 outfits in a row, it's pretty much always guaranteed to go with the brown tones with black tones, lighter beige tones. Like I feel like it fits in a lot. And honestly, this is the more dressier one. So, and since my family and we celebrate Christmas, red is a great color to go with a lot of the different options that we're going to see in terms of clothing for this season. So my burgundy boot is going to be the color 8 diesel pattern on the Leolast from Grant Stone. And as for the workhorse boots, when it comes to this boot particularly, what attracted me to it, beyond just the design of it being very rugged, the stubby toe, I thought looked good. I know it was difficult for my feet, so I actually had to go true to size as opposed to their half down recommendation on the 79 last year. But this Coyote Roughout leather was actually made by, I think, if I remember correctly, it was like another tannery in Maine that went out of business. Kind of sad because I hate to see tanneries in the U.S. go out of business. And I think, if I understand correctly, Seidel started picking up the formula and has been doing it for Truman, I don't know if it's exclusive for Truman, but they've been doing the production of this leather that Tannery did, Seidel, for Truman Boots. So I picked up the Truman boot, and it's got the mismatched leather, which I actually like. They have much more of a thinner, I'm assuming it's skived down. Yeah, you can see that they've cut this down a little bit, I believe, to make the break-in really comfortable. And honestly, what I like about it too is this brown mismatched tongue actually allows it to fit into, in my opinion, like I've enjoyed wearing the browns. Like brown pants are one of my favorite. It reminds me of my granddad. He's no longer with us, but sometimes you carry on that legacy from your past. And my granddad wore brown pants every single day. Couch, going out, church, didn't matter. That man was in brown pants. So it's a very nostalgic color for me. And as a result, I love wearing brown. And I know a lot of people don't like wearing a light colored boot unless they're wearing light colored pants. This is not a fashion advice channel where I'm like trying to tell you how to dress. I will say I've enjoyed wearing dark pants with light shoes. It just works for me. I enjoy it. But also the brown on the mismatched tongue helps it blend in and color, from the pants too. So that's my personal reasons for why I've liked it. Now, intellectually, I've liked this boot because of the promise of it being completely weatherproof, military grade, maybe just marketing. I don't know. I've never had a boot that leaked per se. Like most boots are just really good in the water, and I'm not going to be wading and sitting in water. It'll be going through puddles. So pretty much any boot will do, but I like that idea. And I kind of wanted to actually have a non-tread sole, like no lugs, I guess I should say. Obviously there's tread, but I didn't want a thick lug sole. I wanted for my workhorse boot this winter where I don't care what happens to it. I wanted it to be a little bit more kind of like the Iron Rangers, it's a classic feel. And so I thought this would fit in well for my beat 'em up boot that I love, the flexibility, the design, and the availability for it to go anywhere. Gusseted. Yeah. Gusseted up to, looks like the 4th lace, roughly, right around the 4th, 5th button here, around the 5th eyelet here is where it's gusseted. So a really flexible boot for that reason. So that's my workhorse for this season. And let's get to the exciting part, my experimental boot. Well, exciting for me. So like anyone who has a boot addiction and can't stop buying boots, they know they should, but they can't. It's who we are. It's in our DNA. They had a sale. It got me. Grant Stone. I saw these boots and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not for me, but that's really cool. And then I saw them again. I'm like, those are all right. And I saw them like a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th time. Like, I'll bet you I could pull those off. Like, those are pretty solid. And then all of a sudden I had it in my head that these were going to be the boots I wear to Christmas when I go to my cousins with all 78 of us shoved into one house. Big happy family. And that, are these, oh goodness. This is the brass boot, right? And it's on the Floyd Last. But the leather is, Grant Stone always calls it something different. Like they call it bronze rough suede, We love our CF Stead suede. This is it the rough Mohawk? Something along those lines. I'll put the correct name up on the screen because I'm a terrible YouTuber and don't do my research beforehand. But this is a boot I tried on. I knew 10E was going to fit me, so I tried it on real quick, making sure that there's no construction issues with Grant Stone. Solid reputation for that. No problems here whatsoever. So they fit, but I haven't worn them. My plan is I want to break these in on Christmas Day. The plan is to wear this out all around that day when you're traveling between families and stuff like that. It is just a gnarly, ridiculous leather, which if it's your first time seeing this leather, I get it. You're probably like, that's hideous and not for me. And again, not a fashion channel. This is just me relaying my perspective, relaying what I'm enjoying, and texture is something that I think I've been getting more into as I get older. In my early days, it was fit, right? Like you had to learn what fit your body. As you get older, your fit kind of changes. Just saying, dad bod here. And then ultimately you start to try different things, right? It might be colors, right? I remember I went through a phase in my 20s where I wore crazy colors and I would have been wearing purple boots, stuff like that. Now it's texture. Like I'm really enjoying like the flannels and overshirts and stuff that the different texture can bring to an outfit. And this is one where you're going to blow out your outfit with texture with these boots. So I'm probably going to wear something pretty casual outside of it, just jeans and a shirt, because these will do all the talking, and I'm okay with that. That's what I'm excited for. But yeah, I think they still have some on Grant Stone for like $200, like just over $200, which is crazy cheap for the quality of boot that you get, but it's still a lot for a boot that, you know, let's be honest, I'm not going to wear this that often. The tread is the thick lug that will allow me to go wherever I need to go, and the leather is probably not so much. That is more for fun and for me, and for everyone to make fun of me that isn't into fashion. That's fine. I don't care. I'm excited. I wear clothes for me. Hopefully you wear your boots, your clothes for you. And whether you were just kind of like checking out different options, whether you're just looking for ideas that you may want to kind of like incorporate in your own way, I hope this video was helpful. These were the 5 boots that are for me. Hopefully we'll get maybe an after action review, perhaps. Like if I do get some wear and some cool looks at these, we'll get that. I'm still working on my Thursday challengers, wearing those out and around, waiting for another snow. And I really just want to like go to town on that, as well as I got a special test I'm going to put those through. So that's what's coming up on this channel, along with some other things. So, hey guys, appreciate you spending some time. If you're still here, subscribe. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. My name's been Una. We just talk stuff here. So hopefully you enjoyed your time. Peace.